Good morning, audience. On behalf of Operation Rock, actually, really on behalf of myself, I am Clayton here today with a day working from home. I wouldn't even say it's off, people, because I'm probably about to start in 20 minutes. But I've been kind of quiet with regard to my situation, with regard to the stalking that's being imposed on me by an ex-girlfriend from Staten Island, Francyna Evins. I've more directed it towards the pastor of Mount Sinai Church, who I can definitively prove has been assisting this woman in the continued stalking and harassment of me since December of last year, when I won a trial issued order of protection against her with complete no contact conditions for life, which means it does expire. I not only won this order for myself, but I also won it for my infant daughter. Which means, honestly, this woman, Francyna, is supposed to stay away from not only from me and my daughter for the duration of our natural lives. That was the severity of the case to which was imposed on her when she was convicted last year, December 1st of 2002. Many of you have seen me online. I have challenged Pastor Victor Brown to produce proof, people, because I believe a man who considers himself to be important to be around the mayor and politicians, if he takes the stance to protect someone and to put someone before his church in front of a pulpit where he ministers to people to tell the truth, then he should have no problem being able to have this person prove that they were telling the truth when it is so challenged. Ladies and gentlemen, I am tired. It has been 2 years, which honestly, if you catch in my broadcast, because I am trying to use this situation to educate and empower people. The average duration of stalking between intimate partners goes about 2.2 years. So if I have to be honest, I'm kind of reaching the stasis point of how long a situation of stalking happens normally with intimate partners who start stalking. In 11% of cases, people, though, this stalking lasts for 5 years or better. And I'm not trying to be 11% of those people. I would like to move on with my life. I would like to take the lessons that were learned from this and use them to do better, people. Use them to be better, use them to create better, because that's the whole point of life. We learn from our mistakes, we move on, we become better people. But that is impossible when you have people who are trying to slander you and destroy your credibility and image, really out of vengeance, people. And that is what's going on with Francyna Evins. People, on December 1st, Francyna Evins was convicted of harassing me, Clayton Howard. And here is proof of that right here. We have to be exact, people. So, December 1st of 2022, Francyna was convicted for harassment and burglary. Period. She was found guilty. If anyone needs me to highlight that for you, that blue you see on the screen right there, that's harassment. So my ex was actually convicted in December 1st of 2002 for harassing me. Now, people, vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord, but not if people are controlled by the devil. Because this woman completely pissed that she lost this trial because people, she's a liar. That's why she lost. This is why a judge reviewed all of the hundred and something pieces of evidence she submitted and still convicted her. Because even though Pastor Victor Brown, District Attorney Michael McMahon, and several detectives in the 120 and 123 squad would like to use their bigot and racist agendas to try to have falsely prosecuted me, this piece of paper right here proves the truth that Francyna Evins is a liar and a convicted harasser and burglar. Now, I didn't want to even do this, people. The truth is, when this was over, I wanted to live my life. As you can see from this shot right here, as you can see, her criminal charges, her complaint against me was dismissed in entirety, people. So this complaint was dismissed in entirety for anyone who can see it. I'm going to highlight it right there for you. So you see that blue? You see that blue? That's December 1st of 2002. So December 1st of 2002, those charges were also dismissed. But people, again, thus is the way of vengeance, that someone who truly hates you and is angry that you may have won a just action against them will seek vengeance. Because people, less than 4 days later, this is what happened. Francyna goes into the 120 precinct on Staten Island and reports me for harassment and false reports, people. So, people, I was ultimately arrested for this report because 4 days before this report was made on December 5th, this woman lied on me. And 4 days before this report was issued, on December 1st, she was convicted. Angry she was convicted, she goes into the 120 on December 5th, cites the first as an incident date, and says that I've been making false complaints and that I threatened her. But people, it gets better. And this is a pastor, a man of God, a man who's telling you that he is directed to get you into the pulpit of God. A man who's charging you $150 for his birthday party on Cinco de Mayo, people, where he's going to be serving mocktails. This man, it tells you that he's a man of God and a man of truth. Well, people, here's December 5th. Next, we're going to show you here, December 8th, 3 days later. 3 days later, right here, for anyone who wants to see it, I can't highlight the blue here. No, I can't, unfortunately, people. But this is Francyna's Middlesex report, ladies and gentlemen, where you can see 3 days later, 3 days, not 2 weeks, not a week, but 3 days after this woman filed the fictitious New York report, she goes into the borough of Middlesex in Carteret and files another report against me. And I want everybody to see it. If you can't see it, it's right here. It's harassment and domestic violence. So now, people, ladies and gentlemen, I can definitively show you, again, people, Clayton, the son of Reverend Maggie Howard, a truthful black man who has been falsely persecuted by a lying pastor on Staten Island, Victor Brown. I can show you that right there was 2 police reports filed within a week for charges that were dismissed against me definitively in New Jersey. People, the definition of litigation abuse is the abuse of the legal system to continue to harass an ex-partner. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just showed you 2 police reports filed within 7 days of me winning a trial for an order of protection against Francyna Evins. Why is it, people? Why is it that why is it that Victor Brown, the pastor of Mount Sinai Church, a police lieutenant with access to the NYPD records, why is it that Francyna Evins, people, a victim of litigation abuse, ladies and gentlemen, why can't she show you a police report filed within a month of her being convicted? Because, people, that's the truth. Francyna was convicted on December 1st of 2002. So, ladies and gentlemen, she stood before a pulpit where my great mother used to preach. And now I sit before a logo where my great mother rests. And I ask you, people of Mount Sinai Church of Staten Island, anyone who knows Francyna watching this video, why can Francyna Evins, my convicted offender, not show 1 police report that happened within 30 days of her being convicted of harassment and burglary charges in Essex County in the state of New Jersey? If she is being litigation abused, people, that's the question. See, by ignoring me, it's not going to go away. By thinking you're not going to pay attention to my broadcast, it's not going to go away, people. I, a victim, will receive justice for what Francyna did to me. People, Francyna Evins has abused me and lied on me and falsely pursued me for almost 2 years for something I never did. People, as a victim, I deserve justice. I deserve the right for my offender to be punished, not to be locked out of legal resources by the NYPD who falsely arrested me, not to be locked out of a fair prosecution of my offender by a Richmond County DA who is racist against black men and who has a what's the word I want to use? The word just slipped my mind. Has a motive for protecting this woman because he ignored certified court documents that proved she was lying. People, a pastor who stands in front of a church every Sunday and preaches the message of God, love, truth, and forgiveness. Yet he has backed a pathological liar who he put before a pulpit where hundreds of people listen every week to tell you she's still a victim of domestic violence and litigation abuse. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Clayton. I'm the son of Reverend Maggie Howard, who has been dead for almost 4 years. My mother committed her life to working on Staten Island and building the communities and the peoples and just ministering to the poor and those who may have honestly needed the word of God. One would think that she would be remembered for righteousness and truth, not to have her image falsely damaged because her son is being lied on and accused of domestic violence by a man who claims to be her brother, a wife-cheating thief, and a broken-hearted little girl who is a convicted liar in multiple states, yet no one wants to take knowledge of it because of the embarrassment it's going to put on an Uncle Tom lying pastor and possibly the district attorney's office. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to be up here talking about this. Do you seriously think I really want to be in a fight with the NYPD and the district attorney's office? Hell no. I would much rather be going on to live my life. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll never receive justice as long as this district attorney is protecting Francyna. They will not prosecute her for false reporting. People, I just showed you that she literally filed the exact same report in New York. And I'm going to show you again, ladies and gentlemen, because I think you need to see. I would like to show you that literally Francyna Evins filed the exact same report in New York on December 5th, Right here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Look, he's been making false reports and threats. People, I had never threatened her. She got convicted 4 days before this report. She was pissed off she got convicted. So she launched a counterattack, people, where she went into numerous counties in the state of New York and New Jersey and filed harassment and threat charges. And for anyone who doesn't believe it, people, it's right there. Harassment and threats. Now, people, remember, 4 days before this report, the charges against me for harassment in one place was dismissed. Legally, you cannot take charges dismissed against someone in one place somewhere else because you lost and you do not like the result. But this is what Francyna, the golden girl of the lying, wife-cheating, thief pastor Victor Brown, will tell you happened. People, litigation abuse is when you take the cops and you take the law enforcement and prosecutors and you have someone continually harassed using the legal system as a way to get vengeance. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the first report on December 5th. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the second report. She filed 3 days later in Carteret, people, on December 8th. And where's the date so anyone can see? I want to leave it, ladies and gentlemen. Highlight around it so you see, because people, no one here is lying on Francyna. Right here, if you can see my mouse spinning, that's December 8th. People, that is within 7 days. These reports I show you are within 7 days of me winning the final lifetime no contact stay away against Francyna Evins. People, if I won the trial that she and I had, and then within 7 days she took those dismissed charges to not one, but two separate places and attempted to refile charges on me, ladies and gentlemen, by definition, Francyna Evins committed litigation abuse against me. Then she stood in front of a church in November with her pastor backing her, opening her new domestic violence center that the pastor has manipulated the city and the state for funds for. And she lied and told you all that she was still a victim of domestic violence and that she was being litigation abused. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a pathological lie told by a pathological liar who has been mentored by the lying bastard who is Victor Brown, people. People, I've known Victor Brown for over 20 years, people. My mother knew him. He tells everyone that Reverend Howard was like a sister to him, people. People, the truth is that Victor used my mother for her righteousness and her goodness. He used her because he knew the people of Staten Island truly respected her image and respected her word. And he knows that everybody, from Michael McMahon to the lowest person on Staten Island, when they leave him, they know the truth, that he is a fake-ass lying TD Jakes who is obsessed with control and who's so ambitious that he would sell out his mother for a position on Staten Island. People, this man is no man of God. I understand that hundreds of you who may watch these broadcasts, that might be your pastor. And you're looking at me and you're saying this guy is disrespectful. He's the devil. He's after our church and our pastor's ministry. No, I am not, people. I am after freedom. I am after the truth. I am after my right to be left alone as the victim who won a trial order against Francyna Evins on December 1st of 2002. As that victim, my right after trial was to be free of harassment from Francyna. Not to have her take the charges that were dismissed, audience, to new places where that had nothing to do with it and have me charged because those new places knew nothing about her conviction. People, that's what Francyna Evins did to me. The false advocate of domestic violence, the false abused woman who has manipulated dozens of organizations of actual women who supported her claims to be a victim of domestic violence. There are the Family Justice Center, there's Safe Horizon, there's Warm NYC, NYC people. I can name 3 or 4 other agencies that lended Francyna resources to attack me. And the entire attack was based on a lie, people. How can anyone sleep at night knowing that this woman lied this badly? That she put their political aspirations in effect? Because people, anyone connected to this is going to be connected to the lie Francyna told. There are lawsuits in against the NYPD. There are investigations in with the Department of Investigations and the Attorney General because people, Francyna is the offender. She has been after me. She has filed numerous false reports on me that have been dismissed, and the NYPD and District Attorney of Staten Island refused to prosecute her, and I have it on audio tape. Recording, that they will not prosecute this woman. That the district attorney's office continues to refuse to prosecute Francyna, even though there is definitive proof that she lied on me on November 17th and accused me on 10/20 of 2022 of physically threatening her outside of the Richmond County Family Court. Now, people, the problem with that is that I left the courthouse 20 minutes before Francyna and her pussy brother, and her less than manly brother, Matthew Evins, left the court. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember, I put out a video on 1020 challenging the brother of Francyna Evins to a physical structured fight. This brother challenged me to a fight in the courthouse, and people forgive the ebonics, but I was with it. So what I did was offer this man a structured opportunity for me and him to settle our differences, for me to fight for the honor of my deceased mother, who by no means was a woman of violence. She is gone and her memory is remembered. But people, since this man wanted to seek a physical problem with me because he felt I disrespected his mother, I wanted a physical problem with him because his mother and his sister disrespected my dead mother. His mother, Laura Owens, a New York City teacher, cursed out my dead mother. His sister robbed my mother's charity. People, I wanted Matthew Evans's head, and I had no problem taking it from this less than manly individual if that's what he wanted. But Matthew Evins is a coward, people. So what he did was walk to the 120 precinct with his sister after he got out of court on October 20th, and he allowed his sister to lie on me to the police and tell the police that I threatened her. Now, the truth is, people, Matthew knew I never threatened his sister outside that court because Matthew knew I wasn't there outside the court. And here's the funniest part, audience, that I'm going to share with you now that it's 2 months later. I was gonna wait for Matthew outside that court to beat the hell out of him, people. People, it took everything in me not to wait for that man outside that court because I was pissed when I left that court in October. This man tried to fight me for doing absolutely nothing but trying to stay away from his crazy mother and sister. So, people, for a couple of minutes before I left the court, I went through an internal battle, walking back and forth up and down the street because I was going to wait for Matthew. God directed me to leave, people, and thank God I did. Because if I didn't leave that courthouse, if I had waited till Matthew came out, even if we didn't get into an altercation, Francyna would have filed that report, and people, they would have saw me outside that courthouse. They would have never heard the audio. They would have just saw the confrontation, and they would have arrested me, stating that Matthew was protecting Francyna and not actually trying to fight me. And people, that's what would have happened to me. So God saved me on October, which actually is my mother's birthday. People, God saved me. God is the one who directed me to leave that court. Because I swear to you, people, on the soul of my mother, I was waiting outside that court for her brother to beat the shit out of him, people. And I left the courthouse, and thank God I did. Because the girl got out 15 minutes later, walked down the block with her brother to the 120, and the three of them, Francyna, her brother, and her autistic nephew, sat in the precinct and lied and said I threatened her in the precinct. This is the true griminess and disgustingness of the Evans family. The broken women that raised her, which is Laura Owens and her grandmother, Maxine Ford. Her cowardly brother, who's too cowardly to approach a man and ask me, brother, what's going on with my sister? With respect to the older brother who did that. No, people, the younger brother, Matthew, was a coward and a pussy. So what he did was try to fight me in front of 7 cops and then walk his sister down the block to lie on me after he realized he didn't want no smoke. So what he did was get me smoke with the cops. So he walked down the block with his sister and lied on me to the police. People, I've been lied on by professionals in this, and this is sick, people. A pastor of a church who's a lieutenant, falsifying information and using his position to help this woman stalk me. A district attorney who refuses to prosecute me, knowing that this woman has been after me. Advocates on Staten Island who I've been able to show definitively that Francyna lied to them and that she was never abused. What did they do, people? They didn't help the actual victim, no. They locked me out of all resources on Staten Island, people, because basically if I can't get any help, then I can't fight the situation. So they've extended the time that this woman has harassed me from probably something that could have ended in 6 months to a year to almost 2, 3 years, people. People are going to be held to account for what happened to Clayton Howard. I will not be victimized. I will not be forced to lay down because a racist prosecutor and racist detectives think they're going to ignore my police reports and disappear them, people. That is how severe this situation is, that my police complaints have been disappearing against Francyna out of the 120 because people, she's guilty and they know they have to arrest her. But if they don't log my complaints, if they don't send them to the district attorney's office, if the district attorney's office refuses to prosecute them so they don't go before a judge who's going to independently look at what Francyna did and determine her guilt, then people, my order is unenforceable. So that's what Staten Island has done. But you will not get away with it, Staten Island. Francyna will be held to account. Victor Brown, you are a man of God. You should own your wrong and tell the truth, which is that this woman lied. Even if you lie and say you didn't know about it or you was confused, whatever, you should do the right thing and stop protecting a liar who you knows has lied on an innocent man who never did anything to him. People, how can this man get you into the pearly gates when he's going to hell? Because that's clearly where this pastor, who has lied to hundreds, if not thousands of people for this woman for the last year. On behalf of Operation Rock and the woman who was about the truth, my mother, Reverend Howard, I challenge Victor Brown for a fourth week. Victor Brown, I have just showed 2 police reports filed on me within 7 days of winning that lifetime order of Francyna. Victor Brown, Lieutenant, Pastor, Bishop of Mount Sinai Church, O holy man of God who stands before the pinnacle of truth, which is the pulpit. Victor, I challenge you to show 1 police report filed on Francyna within 30 days of her being convicted in the state of New Jersey for harassment and burglary. Anyone, I challenge you to show 1 police report where Francyna Evins was charged, accused, or anything within 30 days of her being convicted for harassment and burglary. Ladies and gentlemen, I just showed you 2. Victor Brown, even Francyna Evins, whoever is watching this broadcast, show proof that Francyna Evins is being litigation abused. Show 1 police report within 90 days, within 2 months, filed against Francyna Evins by me, Clayton Howard. Please, people, please show the police report. Stop hiding. Stop using words and God to hide behind the truth. Show the truth. Show the police reports. Show something that shows that I, Clayton Howard, the son of Reverend Maggie Howard, is a liar. People, I'm no liar, but this is what they want you to believe. This is why I become stronger. This is why I fight them every day. This is why I will continue to fight them. Victor Brown, show 1 police report filed on Francyna within 30 days. Ladies and gentlemen, before I hang up, I'm going to show you again. I'm going to show you again before I hang up, people. Here's one. Here's the first report filed on December 5th. Here's that for you, people. If you don't believe it, look what she charges me with, people: making false reports, harassment, and threats. People, here's the second report filed on December 8th. 3 days after that, that's within 7 days, people. And what am I charged with? I'm charged with harassment and domestic violence. Now, people, if I won this case, well, it didn't even show you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, it didn't. Now, here's the first report, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry because the tab was off. Here's the first report filed on December 5th of 2002, ladies and gentlemen, because Victor Brown and my stalker, my offender, want to tell you I'm lying. So here's the first report filed 4 days after I won that order of protection against her. Ladies and gentlemen, again, here is the second report filed 3 days after the first report was filed, 4 days after I won the order of protection. People, that's a week. Within 1 week, Francyna Evins had me charged with numerous additional cases for harassment and domestic violence after I won a trial-issued order of protection against her. Why is my screen frozen? That's really weird. But the clock is still ticking. Or is it? What's that about? Okay, my camera froze. That's not good.